What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Absolute Strength Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Hunt, back with another episode, and today we have Nick Wright, one of my best friends in the world, on the podcast, and we talk about a lot of random stuff in this one, as always, but I was especially excited to dig into Nick's past contest prep that he just did, which led into a very interesting talk on binge eating. And this is something that Nick's been struggling with the last couple years, and it kind of really showed its head during this contest prep, during this cut, and we dig into that towards the end of the episode. I think you guys are really going to enjoy that. I'm not sure Nick's really talked about this much on any of his content in the past, so definitely stick in to the end to listen to that. I think you guys will enjoy it, and I think it's going to help a lot of people too, because this is something that's not talked about enough in the fitness industry, with especially us men. Like, we don't talk about this stuff. We don't want to feel vulnerable, and Nick did a good job in discussing some of the issues, and I think you guys are really going to like it. Some valuable stuff. Before we get to the episode, as always, this podcast is sponsored by PR Breaker, prbreaker.com. It's the pre-workout and the protein I use. Discount code HUNT10 will save yourself some money, help support the Absolute Strength Podcast, and help support you with the discount, save yourself some money. And then if you've missed the past 2 episodes that I've mentioned it, my new book, Bodybuilding for Beginners, is now available for pre-sale. Anywhere books are sold, you can pre-sale or pre-buy it on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Books A Million, Target. Pretty much anywhere you buy a book has it. I've put a lot of effort into this one. It's the book that I wish I had when I first started lifting weights. It answers all the basic questions, goes over all the fundamentals on building muscle, losing fat, getting in the gym, doing the exercises right, know what supplements to buy, know what exercises to do, and it also comes with a 12-week program, a 12-week kickstart program. It's upper-lower program, helps you build a little muscle, helps you get stronger. The link is in the show notes if you want to help support the podcast and help support me in becoming an author. Shit, this is a real book. I'm excited. Other than that, I'm a coach. If you want some coaching, you want to work with me one-on-one, you want to get your training and nutrition taken to the next level, send me an email, kylehuntfitness@gmail.com, or hit me up on Instagram @huntfitness. Click the link in the show notes for more information about coaching. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. Let's get to the episode. I'm excited for this one. Nick Wright.
3:30 p.m., a little midday podcast action with the man, the myth, the legend, the OG himself, the start of NWB, Kyle Hunt of Hunt Fitness.
What up? What up, NWB?
Absolute Strength Podcast, returning for my 3rd time. It's been way too long, man.
I know, dude. I feel like this is the only time we ever get a chance to actually talk long form.
Yeah, for real. So I'm stupid excited about this. We're all still chilling in the back.
What up, now?
And hell yeah, if this is out by the time you see this video, it's linked in the box below. If not, I will link it and post it when it's out.
Cool, man. So what's up?
Oh, man, just chilling. Trying not to get obese overnight.
How you feeling?
Much better.
Much better?
Much better.
Well, shit, well, that's kind of what we're going to dig into a little bit, but just to start, like, what's been going on? What are you up to, man? Just like in life, besides the contest prep and everything.
Still coming off of like the high of that thing. But that was just such a fun journey. Everything about that was awesome. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, man, I've been trying to, I had to get my health in order the first week, obviously. Yeah. And then since then, I've been trying to just dive into like get some other business going now outside of the fitness industry. Just kind of get like the chapter 2 of my life started.
You know what's funny though, and you can relate to this is, dude, we've been in this game for so long, like. Yeah. As much as we love, and trust me, I love it more than anything, but it's just funny to see like all like the young bucks coming up and just how like they have that like youthful enthusiasm about it still.
They didn't become jaded and grumpy.
Yeah. It's hard to create lasting success in anything.
Yeah. I mean, it was weird though. I kind of felt that enthusiasm again diving into the show. Mm-hmm. That was a really cool.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to mention that is because I feel like you probably felt a lot of that like, I don't know, because that was what you did in your teenage years was bodybuilding.
Yeah, dude, it was nuts. Like it was like euphoric. Mm-hmm. And like the amount of like support and love and just like the amount it drew people in almost. It was crazy. It really was crazy. It was like being in the Vault days all over again.
Dude, the Vault series, like that like changed fitness YouTube. I feel like we talk about that every time.
I was meeting people backstage that are like legends right now, like Rob Lipset, who was a way bigger follower than me. He came up to me filming for his channel and everything. And he was like, I'm with the legend Nick Wright. And he was like, I watched you back in your basement days. I was like, you watched me? It was so cool.
Well, that was back when not everybody had a YouTube channel and a social media following.
God, yeah.
Remember when filming yourself like out, like it's still kind of awkward, but I'm saying like in the gym filming yourself, like no one did that. Now everyone does that.
Yeah, now you go to the gyms and you're tripping over tripods.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, dude, that is so funny. I mean, like so many things. Doing weird shit in public is not as weird now as it once was. Just because there's someone, everyone knows it's for social media.
Yeah. I used to feel so weird in the gym, like back when I first started the business, like setting up a tripod or setting up a camera. I'm like, well, shit, why? People are probably wondering why I'm filming myself. Like, I'm not that strong. I'm not that big. Like, you know, so it's like not like that impressive.
And then sometimes you try to like hide it. Like try to like do wicked stealth with the camera and hide it. And someone walks in the room, you quick like put the camera down. I wasn't filming.
Yeah, I think everyone's probably done that.
Get all red. Now I'm just obnoxious with it. Now I'm like, hey, I know you're in the middle of this bench set, but can you stop and get up so I can put my camera on it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like I'm like I just do whatever. Like I take like boxes, like people would do like plyos on or jump on.
Yeah.
And I'll like use them as a tripod and just like set them in the middle of a gym. Like it's, I don't know, super obnoxious. It'll be like right next to somebody, but I don't.
Oh yeah. I'll get creative with it. Dude, I took an Ani shoe. And I stuck my phone inside of the shoe, and then I balanced the shoe on the top of a hammer strength machine to film me squatting.
Yeah. I did that one time. I have one of those like, it's not a Joby, but it's like whatever the one for the phone is. And I like set it on a hammer strength machine, and a dude was like trying to use it. I was like, oh fuck, hold on, dude. I'm like, tripod on there. He was like literally like loading plates. Like he didn't even fucking see it.
Jesus, dude.
Shit.
Then I feel bad though, because I'm like, well, it is a gym first, so they'll lift their shit up the right away.
Yeah. Well,
that's why I go to gyms that are like just private.
Yeah, well, I will say this. There is like one benefit of, because I train in a gym. It's not really a commercial gym, but it's not necessarily like a hardcore gym either. It's kind of middle of the road. But I'm so much stronger than everybody in there that like no one says anything to me.
Well, that is a real thing. It's funny. It's like, it shouldn't be like that because the fact that I'm stronger than everybody means nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. But
as soon as you step into a gym, there does become like this slight competitive hierarchy that shouldn't be there. And I think the stronger you get, the less it's there. Like, I don't give a shit, you know.
Yeah, me neither.
Just starting, I'm giving them as much respect as anybody else. But you can definitely see it to a newer lifter. They all look up to the biggest guy like, all right, well, whatever he says goes. It makes it easier to film.
Oh, it definitely does. Like, it's weird because I think the stronger you get, the less it matters. Like to me, it sounds funny to even say, but like I do not care what anybody's lifting. Like I don't even notice. Like you could be benching right next to me, and I won't even really notice how much you're lifting because I just whatever, it doesn't matter. But you can feel how other people kind of respond. Like oh shit, like just the way they look at you.
It is so interesting. I mean, it's really interesting, especially too when like I remember being in a gym and seeing some older guys, not old, like, you know, middle-age-ish guys, 40, you know, in decent shape, just average, like athletic shape. Mm-hmm. And you can see even with them, like I'll be loading up 500 pounds in the squat or something like that, or pressing 150-pound dumbbells or something like that. And there's kind of like, you see them kind of glancing over and looking at you and trying to be discreet. There's like this little awe, and they kind of move away from you. And almost like there's like this air of respect for you, like you're the big dog in the gym. But then I remember specifically like catching one of them outside of the gym. It was at Starbucks or something like that. And this guy was suited up, like nice ass custom suit, drove like the nicest car. It looked like he did something maybe in law or whatever. Mm-hmm. And suddenly it's like the table's completely turned. It's like out there, it's like now he's like the one everyone's like looking to, and look at that guy. But it's just so funny. There's something about the gym though, where it's like you can be the billionaire and the top dog everywhere you go in real life. The second you step into the gym, it's like you kind of fall in line. It's just very interesting.
It's funny. Well, actually, that brings up an interesting point where it's like what you wear. Like, because a lot of times, like I work from home, so I just wear like gym clothes all the time. You know what I mean? I don't even think about it. I mean, you probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think I've told this story before on the podcast, but like when we initially moved down to South Carolina, we went and I wanted to set Lucy up with a checking account or a savings account. So whatever, I was just like Ashlyn set the time, whatever. So she just came into my office. She's like, hey, we're going to go to the bank, set Lucy up with a savings account or whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. All right, let's go. So I just had like gym clothes on or whatever. And we go down to the bank and it was for her. So it wasn't like any of like my bank information per se.
Right.
Being I don't know, since she's under 18, had to have like some of my information on there. It was just like, they're just asking me like basic information, like what I do for a living. And I was just like, I'm an online trainer or whatever. So then when it's all said and done, but mind you, I'm just like wearing like cheap gym clothes or whatever.
Right.
And then when we got it all set up and we were getting ready to leave, the lady, the banking lady, she was like, she's like, my son, he's actually a manager at Anytime Fitness. And I could probably get you a job there if you're interested. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, thanks. Yeah, definitely. She's like, I'm going to write down his name and his number, call him. She's like, I can even put in a good word. I'm like, thank you. But I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, holy shit. Like this is how people see me in public, I guess.
Dude, it's obnoxious, isn't it? I've dealt with the same thing. I've gone to banks to open up business accounts. Wire money to all different countries for different business endeavors, but I'll come dressed in like just some fucking sweats and a t-shirt or a tank top from the gym. And on top of that, I look young too, to boot.
That's the other thing, yeah.
12 years old. So they just literally see this kid in like this ratty ass clothes. And then you get it all the time. They don't take you seriously at all.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I think looking young does it like on top, like it's even more so.
It adds to it because now it's like now you're not just like broken, bummy looking, but you're also young and inexperienced. Like you probably graduated like community college yet. Yeah,
and then I like bring like my 3-year-old in or something. Like, oh look, he's probably like 18. He has a he's like an online quote online trainer.
Yeah,
he's probably living just above fucking poverty.
Dude, you know how ridiculous I feel when I tell people like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, I word it really carefully now. I'm like, my thing is instead of being like, I make YouTube videos.
Yep.
Because especially if they're older, if you say I make YouTube videos, I'm like, oh, my son watches those videos too. You like those games or something?
Are you a gamer, bro?
Now I word it. I go, oh, I run a few social media businesses.
Yeah.
That sits a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so rough. I hate that question. What do you do? I hate answering it. Especially like with the older people because they just don't, because there's so much money to be made in what we do.
Oh, I know.
The generation has no idea.
Well, yeah, and plus it's like I always end up saying something along the pretty much what I normally say is I run an online fitness company. That's all I say. I'm like, I run an online fitness company. That way it just kind of is general.
If you just change the wording around a little bit, like if you just throw in words like e-commerce.
Yep.
E-commerce business. Or like I run my own social media. I run a global social media business.
Yeah.
Even like with YouTube, it's so funny because I used to be like, I don't give a fuck anymore, but I used to be like self-conscious about this sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. I think it's like back when I was younger because I didn't go to college and everybody else was going to college, so I'd like be extra self-conscious. People are going to judge me, think I'm dumb, all that dumb stuff. But I used to be like very like particular how I word it to make it sound better. Like little things like instead of saying, oh, I have a YouTube channel, I'd be like, I run a multi-million view video series.
With using like certain like language and tonality, it's actually like a sales technique. You know what I mean? Like
that's what it is. That's where I got it from all my years in sales.
That's what it is. I mean, it's a sales technique. That's what they teach you, like tonality and then the actual verbiage that you use. You can say the exact same thing, but the perception, like the story that you're telling, the story that's in the other person's head is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's gotten kind of cool because I'll be around people that will like hype me up. So like, well, they'll ask somebody like an older generation person will ask what I do. And I'll run a few social media businesses online. Somebody else will jump in immediately and be like, he has millions and millions of views. They always make it sound way cool.
Oh, that's always better when you can get like a third person, a third party to kind of hype you up.
Oh, it's so cool. Like Ariana's father did it the other night for me. He was like, he's training with Ronnie Coleman. Show him the picture of you and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was like, yeah, making me sound real awesome right now.
No, it's wild. It's crazy because the transformation of jobs. Like I can't remember where I heard this, but there was like I don't know, it was probably like some type of like job slogan or something that said, like, if you're like in your 20s and you have when you have kids, your kids aren't going to have, they're going to have jobs that aren't even created yet. And when I think about it, like that's us. Like when our parents were our age, our jobs, our careers were not created yet.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
That's wild to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, well, especially because obviously I have a daughter. She's 4. So I'm thinking like when I read that, I was like, oh yeah, shit. So what she's going to do probably isn't even a thing. Yeah. Like it's not even a job. Like it's nothing we could comprehend.
That is so weird to think about. Yeah, back in 1991 when I was born, literally there's not one thing I'm doing right now that could have been done back then.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you would have had to. Well, let's kind of set it up. Like, what would? All right, 1991 year, you and I were born. What would our jobs be? Well, me, I'd probably be like a personal trainer in the gym. I guess that'd be probably the closest thing. But for you,
man, I don't know. Like, that's interesting. Like, maybe I probably would have still found competitive bodybuilding because that was going on back then.
Yep.
Maybe still got involved. I got on a magazine cover, which is a good indicator that maybe I would have made it on a magazine cover back then. Though even that's arguable because part of the hype for the magazine cover was the fact that I was this teen bodybuilder who built like this following too. So maybe I wouldn't have. I like sales and public speaking, so maybe I would have ended up competing and then done something with seminars, something like that. I mean, who knows? Honestly, no, probably not because I almost, after my senior year, I thought I was done competing.
Yeah.
My plan was to move into custom car audio installation.
I remember that.
And I got talked into doing one more show, and that's what led to all the social media stuff. So no, I most likely, if I did get into bodybuilding, I might have done a couple of local shows and then kind of moved on from that life altogether. Actually, I probably wouldn't even be in fitness.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, I don't know what I would have done because I don't think. Like, actually, the reason I started Hunt Fitness was when I was 17, I started personal training in the gym. And within like a few months, I was like, shit, like this isn't for me. Like, I just don't enjoy it. You know, I don't like being in the gym training people because I don't think most people need a trainer with them in the gym. Most people just need a program to follow and accountability. So like, I recognize like, shit, why are they paying me all this money to be a clipboard holder, essentially? I was like, why don't I just like have them pay me? And then if, on top of it, you're giving the gym like 50%. So it's like, it just doesn't make sense for you.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And now I'm not trying to knock anybody, and every situation is different. So there's probably some sweet deals going on out there, but I just know, like, from what I've heard from my friends, the standard like personal trainer setup for like a commercial gym sounds awful. Sounds like a ripoff. Yeah. Sounds like a ripoff from both to the trainer and to the people half the time. Like, at least in the commercial gyms, I know like the trainer gets like such a ridiculously small amount of what's actually paid. So it's like peanuts to them. But then because of that, the gym, like those big commercial gyms anyway, will end up hiring people that don't even know what they're doing.
Yep.
So it's like a lose-lose for both sides.
Yeah, the only one that really wins is the gym.
Yeah, right.
Because they get to take, a big percentage or whatever for essentially nothing, like just for having the facility.
Yeah, for real.
So I wanted to dig into this contest prep. Like what initially, let's go back to the beginning here. Like what initially made you jump back into bodybuilding?
Well, it started off actually from doing, just wanting to get business going.
Yep.
So last summer, literally this time last summer, it was like June 11th was the first start of it. Actually, Nick Ferraro, we coached him, still my best friend. He's actually sitting right over here, hanging out all day.
What up?
He told me he was moving out at that date. And at this point, it was actually what I needed though, because at this point I had just been so complacent and just let myself get distracted with personal life issues. And I just let business fall off and slow down so bad. And so he told me he was moving out, which meant I had to take care of my own mortgage like an adult. And,
so that was last year, a year ago.
This is last year. This is like June of 18, right? Yeah, it's 19 now. So this is a year ago. And so I was like, shit. It's like, so I need to get moving again. So I was like, let me do a cut that'll jump traffic and everything. So I dove into that. And it didn't drive up traffic at all at first. In fact, all summer long, I was like stressed as hell. Until I started really getting into it around fall, got my head in it. And started thinking more business-like and stopped stressing so hard. I did a moderate transformation cut where I got down to like photo shoot lean, but I didn't get shredded.
Yep, I remember that.
But upon doing it, though, I watched a bunch of bodybuilding content to get motivated every day because I was still dieting and still doing cardio. And I started feeling like a tease in my head. I was like, yeah, it could be fun to get on stage again. Like, I just little hints of the old stage life come to me. And I wasn't sure, though, because it's a huge commitment. So I didn't want to, like, be half sure and then dive in. So I stopped it at photo shoot. But by the end of it, I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop this cut now because I've been dieting slowly for a while. I'm going to maintain this, reverse diet a little bit, do one more powerlifting meet in the spring, and then I'm going to get shredded and do a show. And everyone kept saying, dude, Christian Guzman's show because he's my friend. And it made sense, because I haven't been in the competitive field in forever. Like, so I was like, that makes sense. It's a show that a friend's putting on. Cool. I wouldn't know to start at this point. So many federations now. And so I decided. But I decided to do it thinking I was doing it for business only. Like I didn't give a fuck about bodybuilding. When I started this show prep, it was just to get business drummed up, which is a horrible reason to do a show. So when I started doing it, my head was not in it. Like I hated it. I was miserable. You start suffering when you do pre-contest. Like you go into like the pre-contest diet, and you're suffering and you're hungry. And the only way to help you push through that is to remember why you're doing it, like to have a goal. And I didn't have that because to me it was just for business sake. And it's making me miserable. But then somewhere along the line, like halfway through the prep, something just clicked in me. I think it was talking to Dan Mackler, who's doing my dieting for this one. You know, he kind of kicked it to me real. He's like, listen, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. He's like, no one's making you do it. And then the other thing was Ariana, actually. I showed Ariana, like, I got my trunks on one night and showed her some of the mandatory poses. I was waiting for her to, like, crack a joke, how silly the trunks looked, first time seeing me in them or anything like that. And to my surprise, she didn't at all. She did the opposite. She got really into it. She goes, oh, first she was like, ooh, that shade of blue is like, I love that shade of blue in you. That's good. That's a good color. Now I show her the poses. And again, I was expecting her to like crack a joke, make fun of how silly it was. She'd never seen me in action with bodybuilding before. Instead, she ends up like loving the pose and she starts giving me feedback like, oh, that one looks really good. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, so let me ask you this. Does this pose look better this way or this way? You know, show her two different variations. And she'd actually analyze it and she'd be like, I think I like the other one better because of this, this, and this. And then she like gave me the idea for like the posing routine and stuff. And so like seeing, and then she like would even say like, oh, I'm so excited. I get to actually see you get back in action, the thing that started all of this, like the life we live now. Having her actually excited for me, which I've never had in a partner before, it like did something to me. Like that night I got really fucking excited. And from then on, I just found myself, it was almost like she gave me like the extra reassurance. And I got really into bodybuilding. So for the whole rest half of that prep, I fell in love with it. I stopped caring about views. I stopped caring about business. The bodybuilding show was everything, just like old days. And I loved it. And it garnered so much support and love. It was insane.
Well, it shows. It actually shows in the results. Because I remember seeing, I think you maybe posted a picture about like halfway through or something. And then like, you're like, oh, I'm going to really turn this around. And then literally you did. Like it went from like the first half of the contest prep, it looked like you just saw like minimal progress. And then in the second half, like you completely dialed it in.
Yeah, Christian Guzman said the same thing. He goes, I'm going to be honest, so like 5 weeks out, I didn't think he could do it. And then he kept telling me, he was like, and I knew it was just a compliment because he kept saying it. He was like blown away. He's like, I cannot believe you did it. In fact, I was with Nick at Top Strength. We were about 5 weeks out. So when I tried pulling at 625, failed. But I showed him, you know, he was telling me, he's like, oh, you're looking leaner. We were like in the bathroom, I think, just like watching up after the lift or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm like 5 weeks out now. And then he even goes, because he's been around with me through preps. He was with me for my last show 7 years ago. And he was like, 5 weeks? He's like, ooh, yeah, well, you're definitely not as sharp as you usually are 5 weeks out from a show. It's like, you just got to stay with it. Like, he was encouraging. He's like, you just got to stay with it. You'll do it. But I'm just saying, like, back to what you're saying. Like, 5 weeks out, it was like, everyone was like, you're not going to do this. And then we double timed it. And I paid the price. I don't recommend anybody do it that way. I recommend everybody start longer than I did out. I gave myself 13 weeks. And like I said, I like fell off week 7. I traveled in week 8. Like I half-assed it the first half. So it wasn't even like I milked all 13 weeks. I recommend people start at 15, 16 weeks out, stay on track and just ease into it. It's healthier. It's more safe. But we did what we had to do, man, and pulled it off. And you know, even still, it's like if I wanted to go for like getting like a pro card level, like level of shreddedness, I would have still wanted like another maybe 2 to 3 weeks, like 2 to 4 weeks, depending on just how crazy I wanted to get. I think 2 more weeks and we would have started seeing some lines in the glutes. 2 more weeks of going at the double time pace that I was going. We would have started seeing some shredded glutes. I had some solid ass separation on stage day for sure. So I look good. I was happy with the shape I came in for the short amount of time, but we definitely had to like double time it to get there.
What do you say?
Well, Nick just added a good point too that kind of helped because I was getting at 5 weeks out at that point where I wanted to quit. I texted Dan kind of complaining. I was just like, because I was getting miserable. I was feeling the effects of the diet and the starving and losing social life, but I didn't have the love for the show in my head yet. So I was texting Dan saying, I don't even want to fucking do this show anymore. Like, this is such a waste of time. And then he just kind of gave me like the tough love smack of reality I needed. Instead of coddling me, he was just like, dude, he's like, no one's making you do this. He's like, you're not getting paid directly for this. It's like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. As your boy, I'd rather see you quit and be happy in life than do something you don't want to do. He's like, but you did seem determined to do it when you first came to me at 13 weeks out, and you were excited for it. And I do think this might just be you being exhausted from travel. I just got back off the road for Texas from the second time in 2 weeks. So I think it might just be you being exhausted from traveling and feeling frustrated because you fell off your diet. He's like, so I would take this week to get back on your diet and really get your head in order and then decide what you want to do for real. And that kind of stopped me. Like the second you give me that tough love, that's how I operate. If I complain, I don't like complaining. If I complain and you're like, oh man, I feel you, that's just going to fuel my complaint. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't do this. But if I complain, like Ariana was great with that. I was literally just like, I'd have moments where I was like, I'm fucking tired. I'm starving. I want to just like have a fucking beer and a burger. I just want to eat. I want to not be hungry. And she didn't coddle me. She just goes, and she didn't get mad either. She just goes, nope, have a beer. Have a burger. It wasn't even like a dramatic, like, do it then if that's what you want. I was just, have one then. You can. No one's stopping you. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, oh, fuck that. I can't just cheat. I got to finish this thing. Yeah. So Dan kind of kicked my ass in the gear with that. He gave me the option and kind of snapped me out of my little pity party. I was like, what am I doing? It's like, I am choosing to do this. I have the option. No one's making me do it. I chose to do this. So what the fuck don't I just dive in and get it done? So it was cool. I had a good team around me.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I always talk so highly of coaching, because when you're in it yourself, it's so easy just to get do emotional decisions. You know what I mean? And especially when you're struggling on a diet, you're fatigued, you have cravings, you're hungry, you want to quit. And I don't care. Even if you would have been 100% motivated right from the start, you're still going to have a point in time where you're going to feel like you're going to want to quit. Now, when you're not 100% committed, then you have an episode where it's like you're on the edge. Like you're about ready to.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree.
Yeah. It's funny because it sounds like this contest prep was almost like the opposite of the one we did 7 years ago. Because the first half went like amazing, remember? And then something happened, like a breakup or something. And then like the last 4 weeks was like a complete struggle.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's another interesting point too. It was so crazy and unique and different and awesome to me doing a prep for the first time in my life with an actually supportive partner. It's wild how much of a difference that makes. I've never experienced that. Like it's one thing having a partner that tolerates what you do. Mm-hmm. And it can be very easy if you don't know any better. It can be very easy to see that as being supportive. And it's somewhat supportive, if they're not knocking you for it, somewhat supportive. But there's a huge difference between a partner that's just kind of sitting there, like half paying attention to what's going on. No, that's cool. Are you done yet? I'm over this diet. Or like when you complain, like, oh my God, I just want to cave and eat like cake so bad right now. Instead of having the partner be like, let's do it, babe. I'm down for that. Instead of that, having them be like, no, you don't want to do that. You have 5 more weeks. Like you know what you're doing this for. Like, just keep going. Like, go do cardio. That makes such a huge difference. I'd never experienced that before. So like having Ariana be how she was during this prep, unreal, man. It was like an unreal like fire that gets under your ass having like a partner like that.
Yeah, that's something I always talk about with clients too. When you go on a diet, it helps so much if your significant other is either dieting too or just 100% is there for you. Like they have to be on the team. You know what I mean? They have to be on the team.
And I actually personally think the latter is the best bet, because I feel like if they're dieting with you, that can also backfire, because then you have two very miserable, self-absorbed people in the same.
Well, if it's for like a contest prep, definitely. But for like people who are just kind of like losing some weight, sometimes it helps if they're both kind of on that path. But for a contest prep, like getting shredded, if you got two people doing like a contest prep together or doing an extreme fat loss for a transformation, things will get dicey.
Yeah, it can be dicey. So that was pretty cool. So like she would make the best out of certain, like obviously her and I we love to have our drinks, like we love our date nights and stuff like that. So I cut obviously all alcohol out. We didn't have any cheat days, nothing like that. I just didn't drink at all. And but she was cool. She went right along with it too. She didn't either. She was like, yeah, I figured, like she was even telling me, she's like, I don't even mind. It's not drinking. It feels healthier. And I'm just using the time that we don't do that stuff to like get more work done, be more productive. So she would milk the health aspects in that way. And then she would be cool because like if she made food that I couldn't have and she'd eat it right there, she would always say something encouraging though. I'd be like, oh, I'm so jealous. She'd be like, that's all right. That's why you're making the money you make, or you're getting paid for this. That's all right. This is how you're making your money. And I'd be like, yeah, that's right.
Shit, I feel like the alcohol one is tough for a lot of people.
It is. It's especially that one. I feel like is really tough if your partner's not on board.
Yeah,
because that's like if you have a partner who wants to be able to unwind and have fun and have drinks, then when you don't drink, then it's like boring. It's not a fun relationship.
Well, there's such a social side to it.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. All of our best stories are involving alcohol.
Oh my god, dude! Don't I know? Oh my god, you and I can never hang out and not have some dumbass story come about from alcohol.
Oh, I know, every single time.
From getting dished by your friends, walking to Wegman when it's freezing in the morning, to wrestling on gravel, which is the single worst idea in the entire
that wasn't good. The day before my wedding.
Yeah, that was horrible. The best man in the fucking I had totally shredded up from wrestling on gravel.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. God. We always have a good time. $1,000 outfit videos.
Oh, Jesus. I always like leave with the most embarrassing like memories whenever I drink with you.
I know it's not always pleasant during the time, but it makes for some good stories.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Shit. How so when you really hightailed it these last 4 weeks, what did that look like? I saw you were like in the gym like 3 times a day, and so what was the diet? What was the training?
Yeah, man, because my metabolism isn't what it used to be. So we dropped to 4 weeks out. I think we might have been the highest my calories ever touched was 2,300, but that was very rare. It was mostly like 2,100. Mm-hmm. And then it just kept tapering down. By the final couple of weeks, we were at 2,000 calories. Peak week getting down to like 1,900 calories. So of those 2,000 calories we were on for the final weeks, 55 grams of it was carbs, and half that was fiber. Mm-hmm. So 25 grams of like fun carbs a day. And so that's already very depleting. But then protein was really high. So fats would be maybe like 100-ish grams roughly, that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Protein was like 220-ish. So energy levels were real low. But then on top of that, it's like we had a double time. And so I would train my normal training session, fasted, eat. Then I'd go and do my main session of cardio, which is the Stairmaster for like 45 minutes. And I did it on this old 90 Stairmaster that was really hard. More challenging than the normal Stairmaster. And then in the evening, we'd do a treadmill for like an hour on incline at a fast pace.
So what was that, like an hour and 45 minutes of cardio a day?
Yeah, sometimes a little bit longer. Sometimes go a little crazy and just do like if the Stairmaster would burn me out, I get so fucking sore because like recovery gets low and like the Stairmaster was a bitch. But my legs were never – I recovered pretty good, obviously, when I have calories in me. But when you don't recover. It's like my legs felt like a first-timer hitting legs every day. It was never sore. I started getting I had to cut out the Stairmaster the last few days actually just because I was starting to get nerve flare-ups coming from my lower back from it and stuff like that just because I had no fat on me and no calories. Uh-huh. But, yeah, man, it was nuts. But if I ever took a break from the Stairmaster, then I would compensate by doing an hour of incline treadmill twice. So 2 hours a day. And like I said, it was very low. Each meal would just be 5.5 ounces of chicken breast, 85 grams of green beans, or 85 grams of romaine lettuce, depending on the meal. with 21 to 28 grams of lightly salted almonds, depending on that'd be like some muscle on it. It's like nothing, man.
So not much.
No, and like only 4 meals a day of that, and you have to survive the whole day. Like, it was nuts. Like it was rough. I would try to get out of the house as much as I could, just to not focus on eating. I was starving. I was dizzy throughout the day at some point, just like go like low blood sugar, just from like 2,000 calories is manageable, but 2,000 calories being heavily muscled and then training 3 times a day, that's when it really starts digging into you.
That's where it gets you.
At that point. All low carbs too, and we couldn't really afford to do many carb ups because again we were like rushing it and pushing it, and I was at a point where my body wasn't responding super well to carbs because I'd just been so accustomed to low carbs. So I was like, we'd test it out, like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, I was spilling over from like 200 grams of carbs. We'd do like one high carb day, 200 grams. It'd look all right the next day, a little spilt over. All right. We'd keep testing out different numbers. So my carb up before the show was all of 150 grams of carbs.
Oh, wow.
And like, out of that was still some fiber too, just to keep my body regular, what it was used to. So it's definitely different than back when you and I were working together. And it was just because my body, I think, has just changed so much now from my teens.
Yeah, dude, you're getting old.
I am. 28's over the hill, man.
I know. I'm gonna be 28 in October. Shit.
Jeez.
Getting old. Not the young bucks anymore.
No. You had Dave Metzer on your show the other day?
Yeah, the other day. Yeah.
So sick.
You follow him?
I love his stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's so cool.
He has a unique story. He has like the fucking prototypical story that we all love. Like he started from nothing, became like a multimillionaire, then lost it all, then had to build it back.
Really? I don't even know his backstory that much. I just kind of stumbled upon him. I gathered that he was successful, and I love his like speeches on business and human psychology, and it's like, I love it. It's great.
Well, if you want to learn about his story, he was on a podcast called the Absolute Strength Podcast. Check it out.
Absolute Strength Podcast. It's pronounced Absolute Strength.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled exactly how it sounds.
Okay, Absolute Strength Podcast. Got it.
Yeah, it's on like everywhere. I just
gotta make sure I remember that.
Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, all those things. It's there. Search.
I'll check that podcast out. Sounds pretty
the host, man, he's fucking fire. Super smart, dude.
Sponsored by Wegmans.
Oh, of course. If I could get a Wegmans sponsorship, I'd be done. I'd retire.
Oh my God, that was great.
Anybody in the Northeast right now, Nick Wright does not like Wegmans.
It's not that I don't like it. Listen, that's not fair because we were wasted. It was 1:00 in the morning, and Kyle encourages me to walk with him in freezing ass upstate New York. It was freezing.
Yeah, that was a cold weekend.
All the way from the bar to Wegmans because he's like, you have to see this place. It's crazy. It's futuristic. And we get there, and it's a grocery store. I'll be in a nice grocery store, but it was just a grocery. I was expecting I don't know what I was expecting.
Well, what did you think I was going to take you to? A strip club?
I didn't know what was that.
It was probably 2 a.m. So, I mean, that's probably would have been more appropriate.
You couldn't even go in it.
No, yeah, I know. Oh, shit. That was a fun weekend, though.
That was a really fun weekend. We met a subscriber of mine celebrating his 21st birthday at that bar, and I was like, "Come see me for your next shot. I want to get you something good." And we see him a few minutes later. He has these shots that he got, some cheap shit. I remember taking him. I took him. I was like, "You're not having those." I was like, "Come with me," and I bought him like Patron shots. It was great.
Yeah, that was the night we got left. We got left down there.
Yeah, we did.
It was bullshit. Then we still ended up at some after party.
10 minutes for us to finish filming a $1,000 outfit video.
Yeah. Yeah, we ended up at some after party somehow.
Dude, and then I was so hungover the next day when we trained with Nyback.
Tom Nyback. Yeah, he was so pumped to train with us too, and we were like dead.
Oh, dude, I had a headache and a half. My headache had a headache.
It was supposed to be in the morning. I think we bumped it back like 4 hours or something, and we still felt like shit.
We shared a bed all weekend too. That was romantic.
We've done that multiple times.
Yeah, we have.
East Coast, West Coast.
California too.
Yeah, we did in California. Remember we had that.
We should have been in California.
Yeah, we had that hotel right on right on Venice Boulevard. There.
Yeah, damn man.
Yeah.
That was your best man.
That was the Matt Augus's bag video.
fucking pills. What's the
Remember
matter?
he left a bag, a little Ziploc baggie in our hotel room filled with pills.
Yeah, I remember that.
If that doesn't sound fishy.
That was back in the day. How different is YouTube? Like back in the day, we literally just made a whole YouTube video titled "What's in Matt Otis's bag." It was like a 3-minute video of us just going through Matt Otis's bag of pills.
Yeah, and
like
it was that was back. We also did a YouTube video where an entire video, we were at some restaurant and you would just name a food and I would tell you the macros for it.
Yeah, name any food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
And that was
any food. And I'd be like, Kyle Hunt. I'd be like, that egg right there, that piece of chicken, you look at it, that's about 3 ounces. That's this many calories, this much protein, this many, bang out the macros. Like Good Will Hunting, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was a good video too.
Yeah, that's crazy how much time.
And we also did a video one time. It was just like a back workout to a Yellow Wolf song. That was a sick video.
That was a sick video. So that was a reasonable video.
Uh-huh. But that wouldn't work today.
Crazy.
And that got a lot of views. That did good. Decent.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that was my little up my Northeast tour.
Yeah. We trained with Kevin Lezak that trip too, I think, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh my God. I forgot about him. Holy shit.
Kevin?
I forgot about him.
Yeah, he did live down south for a little bit, but now he's back up in New York.
Yeah, that's right. He started killing it for a little bit. He did the Arnold Classic and stuff.
Yeah. He had a great physique.
He did. So what's your plan? You going to do nationals, USAPL nationals?
Probably not this year. I've just been so fucking busy. Been crazy with everything.
You have crazy potential, man.
I'll tell you, it's tough. Ever since I moved down to South Carolina, like there's not as many meets around here. So like I love competing, but I hate having to travel for meets.
Yeah.
Like when I lived in New York, there was always close meets. So it was like, a decent driving distance, but we'll have to go and get a hotel room the night before and then the day after. It's just, I don't know.
No, it sucks. I'm over traveling. I'm quitting everything.
Just quitting everything?
Become a beach bum all summer.
Yeah. It's tough when you have the access to the beach all the time.
Oh yeah. Ocean State's beautiful.
Yeah. So you did the competition. We got to dig into what happened afterwards. So let's recap. You get off stage. What happens?
So we get off stage, finish the show, shoot to Whataburger. I order like 4 different meals. Literally, I ordered the cheesy triple, the spicy and sweet burger, and they're all huge. Everything's bigger in Texas for real. And some chicken wrap. That was a total waste of time because it tasted healthy. A milkshake, 3 orders of fries, and a cookie.
Uh-huh.
And it was 4,000 or 5,000 calories in that meal easily, and I pounded it in one sitting. And then my stomach was in so much pain after that. Like it was all right, and then I made the mistake of drinking water after, and it was so much pain and distended. It was horrible. But then the following day, we flew down to like a little mini vacation at Mohegan Sun for like 3 days, and I continued eating like an asshole, drinking like an asshole. That first 24 hours, I went back and calculated it in MyFitnessPal. I ate over 10,000 calories, and I consumed over 10,000 milligrams of sodium.
Well, think there's people that just do that for the views.
Yeah. And like it can work if you're used to processing food and carbs and calories. But like I said, I had come from eating under 2,000 calories for like the last month, only 25 grams of like fun carbs every single day. Like my goal was not to do a keto diet, but I'm sure I was tapping into like ketosis at some point. They're especially training 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the cardio burning that. It's like my deficit was just insane. My body, I could feel it. I never got hot. My heart was like slowing down, and like not to the point of like alarming anorexia, but I'm just saying in general, it's like energy levels are so far down. Not used to processing carbohydrates. I mean, I was spilling over from 200 grams of carbs. I used to be able to snort 200 grams of carbs. So it's like to go from that then to making your body suddenly process 5 times its daily caloric intake in 1 24-hour span and have it be 1,600 grams of carbohydrates when it's not even handling 200 grams well, and add in 10,000 plus milligrams of sodium after you just dehydrated yourself for a show. that sends your kidneys into, your kidneys into overload. Talk about water retention. So what ended up happening after a few days is I got hit with really bad edema. And so like crazy, I gained 30 pounds of water retention. Went from 168 to 198.
Jesus.
Of all water retention. It was pooling. It was pooling in my ankles and it was pooling in my shins and it was pitting. So I would like stick my finger on my shin and leave like a pit where my finger was. And it hurt and it was sending like nerve damage off of my nerve pain and hurt to walk and like heart, chest felt tight and everything. It was kind of scary because you never know, like something that serious for the first time, like, is there something else going on here, like congestive heart failure? Or, I assumed it was obviously the binge because that's pretty damn obvious, but it's just when that intensive symptoms are happening, it starts getting a little uneasy. So I got it checked out and, I spent my 4th of July trying to like rest and take Epsom salt baths and got it checked out and my heart was healthy and lungs were healthy as I suspected, but I just wanted to cross my T's and dot my I's with that. And just been trying to get my calories back under control and it's starting to balance out. Now I'm still carrying it in my face and arms a little bit, but like my ankles are normal size again. There's no pain, no discomfort. It's a lot more normal water retention now, which is good. So I think over this next week, things should be back to normal completely.
Did your weight balance back out?
I haven't stepped on the scale, to be honest, because I just it was too depressing to keep stepping on the scale with all the water weight. So I don't really know. Like looks wise, it's balancing out. I can see my veins again. So I think it's definitely. I think it's definitely balancing. I can walk again, so definitely balancing out. But it was bad, man, and but it was like a blessing in disguise because I've been realizing this for the last year or so. Just from years of competing as a teen, I've developed a binge problem so bad with food. And it's super common in this industry, and especially if you start dieting young. Because you train your cerebral cortex, the primal side of your brain, you train that to think it's in starvation mode and send out these urges to binge. It's a survival thing. If you're out in the wild and you're starving because it's a famine, you finally hunt a deer or a buffalo, your brain's like, take all of that in as fast as you can now. And it doesn't matter if you're full, take all of it in so we can store those calories for the next few days. Survival mode. But your brain doesn't know, obviously your brain doesn't know that you're dieting on purpose. So when you start doing that young, it trains that part of your brain to do that. And then you act on that, especially when you're coming off a diet, because everyone gets cravings when they're on a diet.
Yep.
So normally if you get that binge going, but you're not on a diet, you can kind of ignore it a little bit. But when you're coming off a diet, you're already starving. And your hormone levels are fucked up, ghrellin's way up here, leptin's way down here. So your body's already making you hungry. It's another survival mode. And then so you start acting on these binges. And then every time you act on it and you binge, your brain's releasing natural opioids. Your brain's releasing dopamine, all these addictive, feel great chemicals. So it's a binge is orgasmic to your brain. It's insane. It really is the best feeling in the world. Mm-hmm. And then every time you act on it, you train your synapses to create actual habits. So it literally becomes an addiction the same way craving a drink is when you're an alcoholic or a cigarette when you're a smoker. It's insane. And then it's fucked, man, because it's a binge crave will come on and you try to be good. You're I'm not going to do it. I'm going to use self-control. And the more you resist it, you start getting, your heart starts going, you start getting anxiety. You can't focus on shit. It's literally like an alcoholic staring at a shot being poured while he's 3 days into recovery.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. And I actually read a book, Brain Over Binge, and it gets into all the science and how to actually tackle it. It is the craziest thing. And it's very actually simple, the science behind it. But it's just so amazing how it all works.
Is that something you've dealt with the last couple of years?
Yeah, definitely. And I wasn't even really aware of it. Mm-hmm. I always just kind of chalked it off to big lifting man with a big appetite,
Yeah.
But it really showed its true colors when I started dieting again. And that's what they all say. The dieting just psychologically will start triggering that a little bit and really bring it out. And especially when you start dieting at a young age, because your frontal lobe, the part that controls your cognitive functions, the part that controls being logical, that's not fully developed to your mid-20s.
Yep.
So when you're young, the dominant part of your brain that's firing at full force is just that primal survival part. You have a little bit of function, but that's why younger teenagers tend to be impulsive and make dumb decisions, get tattoos they regret. You don't have that control over impulse. So when you start training that part of your brain, the subcortex, to binge because it thinks it needs survival mode, and you start making that habit come, you don't have the other part of your brain yet to balance it out. So that's why it's super common when teens start dieting, and not just for bodybuilding, but like if you cut weight for wrestling.
I was gonna say for wrestling, you see a lot of kids struggle with that from wrestling. When they get into their 20s, you meet them and like, oh shit, they like gained a bunch of weight because that issue.
And it was fucked up. And I realized too in this book, it's all bulimia, which is nuts. We think of bulimia as you eat and then you puke, but puking is just one form of purging. But bulimia is like if you binge, like what I would do, and I know a lot of people do this. You eat like fucking crazy, and I'm talking like I've been making progress. It's a miracle that I bought ice cream and I bought kids like sugary cereal like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago now. I still have it all. Mm-hmm. It would never happen. Like I would go through a tub of ice cream. I would go through 3 boxes of cereals. I'd make 2 PB&Js and tuna fish sandwich, eat all of Ariana's cookies and find something else to eat in one sitting.
That would be one sitting?
Yeah. It was the weird, like you see like in those My 600 Pound Lives, people don't know when they're not hungry. It was that. And it was the weirdest fucking thing too. Like I would eat like a big ass meal and I'd feel full. I could get like a little food belly and feel the fullness here. A perfect place where most people stop. You're not uncomfortable before you're not dying yet. But you're like, well, I'm definitely good. I'm taken care of, right? But for me, it was like a habit where, like, to me, all that meant was I'm not in pain yet. I have more room. I need to keep eating.
That's wild.
I didn't feel pain in my stomach, like to the point where I can't sleep, can't lay anywhere. I wasn't full yet. So I keep going and going and going in one sitting, and it was nuts. And, like, it was bad. So, like, the fact that I had this, and it gets worse actually at the bottom of a diet because then, like, your ghrelin and leptin are all thrown off. So this edema happened and was actually a blessing in disguise, because the bloating caused some gastrointestinal like issues. So, like my stomach was crazy distended. I still had the 6-pack going, but as you got to here, and it was heavy and bloated. My back hurt from me to support it. It was the weirdest feeling thing. And it would do this thing where I could only drink a little bit of water at a time or eat a little bit. Any little thing that I took in, instant like severe pain, like so much pressure. So I couldn't have that much. And I would eat and drink some water, and like suddenly, boom, like my ankles would swell up. And so I had to it forced me to do portion control. At first I was trying to track the bodybuilding way, like tracking calories, make it low. But psychologically, that was throwing me back into the binge thing again. Like psychologically, like I'm restricting myself. Have a cookie. I'm going to resist. It turns into a binge. And it got fucked up to where Ariana got so mad she fell asleep one night. We got food for takeout, a lot, Indian food, big ass things of rice. Huge servings with naan and everything. I mean, it's filling. Yeah. I killed mine and my naan. She had her naan with like some of hers, but she still had all this rice and like meat stuff in this bowl, and she fell asleep. And so I killed mine. I'm still hungry. I was like, all right, I'll have PB&J. That'll hold me over. Then it started. So I had PB&J. Then I had a tuna fish sandwich. Then I took her bowl, and we were drunk at this point too. I had her bowl, and like I killed her entire bowl on her. And then I went and had some cookies and stuff like that. And then I was like in fucking pain and dying, and she got so mad. She's like, this is before I got checked out and got clear. She's like, you are worried about your health. You can't even walk. You're getting chest tightness, and you're still binging. She's like, you're going to kill yourself. What do you? And it was nuts. It was like, I was like, yo, this is literally like what you see in like those My 600 Pound Life videos. It was insane. So what she actually did is she helped me. We just had to get my brain unwired from the dieting mentality. So she started making my breakfast for me, and she started making it with quote unquote fun foods. But it'd be reasonable portions. So like an egg sandwich, like 2 eggs, like 2 pieces of bread, and maybe like a bowl of kids' cereal. Just a reasonable sized little bowl, nothing crazy, right? But it'd be something fun like that. It'd be like a balanced breakfast. There's some protein, there's some carbs, and it's fun. And I'd have that. First thing in the morning, she wouldn't let me intermittent fast anymore. First thing in the morning, try to tackle the appetite. And it worked. And I felt more held over. I was like, okay, I feel pretty good. And she would keep doing this. So she'd make it so I'd only have like 3 major meals a day. And they'd be all balanced like that. It'd be fun things. I'd be like a bowl of oatmeal with berries and something fun, but it'd be like just reasonable portions. So overall, the calorie intake was probably around roughly maybe 3,000-ish calories, give or take. A reasonable intake. Mm-hmm. But it was all these fun foods that my diet brain was associating with cheap foods. And so that's what we're doing. It's like you get these like guilt urges going on. So it's like, oh my God, I want bread. I can't have bread. That's high carb day. It bloats me. Can't have, all these things you can't normally have on prep. What this did essentially, this is her idea, and it worked like a charm. She got me to become familiarized with these foods again and start looking at these foods as just food. No more looking at them as cheap foods. No more looking at them as special high carb day foods or all right, this is my big high carb day junk meal. The rest has to be just looking at food as food again. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, now when I see cookies or I see like bread or I see this or that, now like these alarms of excitement don't go off me anymore. I'm not like, yo, I'm allowed to have this now. Let me go crazy. Now it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, those cookies, they're cool. I'll have like 3 of these for lunch, and I have the freedom to have them whenever I want. If I want them, and because of that, I'm kind of cool now. And it's made this huge difference now. It's really made it's crazy. It's made a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, it sounds like it just had to be recalibrated.
Yeah, that definitely helped me get out of the diet mode. And then the other part this book talks about, Brain Over Binge, really good book. I recommend it to everybody. Is you kind of have to just identify when you get those urges. You have to identify that it is just simply a pattern of a miscalibrated primal part of your brain being sent out there. But it doesn't control you. Like it's not the frontal cortex. It's not controlling your actions. It's just an urge being sent out by a mistaken part of the brain. So you got to kind of just identify it. Don't try to resist it and fight it because it causes the anxiety. Just identify it, let it run its course, observe it, but just remind yourself that it's not controlling you. Don't try to fight it or suppress it, but you also don't have to act on it or react to it. Like, you control if you open the fridge door or not, which sounds so funny and silly, but it's the craziest thing. I mean, it's really similar just to how you identify like the ego and all those discussions. So it's pretty interesting, man. It's like the edema was a blessing and a curse because it kind of forced me to start getting a grip on this binge and start applying some balance to my eating life again.
That's wild. What's crazy is like the last couple of years, like even before this whole dieting contest prep, you were saying it was still an issue then. You just didn't maybe recognize it.
Yeah. I think it's been there for a while. But, like I said, when you're eating normal calories, it's like it's a little bit less noticeable. But yeah, definitely there, man. Like I could never have, even normally when I was powerlifting and fat and happy, still, I could never have snacks in my house. Like Ariana and Max Schumann both give me a hard time about not having any fun snacks. I always told everybody if we had snacks in the house, like cookies, kids cereal, anything like that, it'd be gone that night. I couldn't keep it. I couldn't just have little normal bits of it. I can't imagine that. And like little things too, like Nick Farrar over here would get Domino's. He'd eat some of it, some pieces of pizza, and he'd like put the rest in the fridge for like the next day or whatever. And I'd always be like, I'd jokingly get annoyed because it would tease me, like it's such a tease. But then I'd always be like, I can't fathom ever having leftovers. Like I can't fathom not finishing something right there and then. Ever. I could not get that in my head.
I will say this about me. I don't think I've ever taken food home from a restaurant. Like if I order something, I just eat it all.
Yeah, same.
Always. Like I never take leftovers home. Like I could order like the biggest meal ever and somehow I'm fucking finishing it before we leave. Shit. Like you ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse? Like the ones that like it's all you can eat meat, like your table.
Sounds good.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's worth it. It's like they have them all over the place. They're Brazilian steakhouses where you just like flip a card over on your table and they'll just bring you around like different steaks and shit. Well, we went one time and dude, that was probably like the only time I've ever been like sick from food, just from like the amount of food I ate.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. And I normally don't have any trouble with this at all, but like when I was presented with an unlimited amount of steak, I just could not flip the card over that said I didn't want more.
How are you with like cheap foods, just like cookies or desserts or anything like that, or even just like fun like fast food type foods, pizzas?
It's weird because like, I don't know, just like, I think from doing like so many diets and coaching people and dieting for so much and just being like, since I was a little kid, like wrestling and stuff, like constantly kind of being in control of my nutrition. Yeah. It's very hard for me to ever turn it off. So like, I'm like, even if I'm not tracking, like I'm still like tracking how much I'm eating, right. But I don't ever really have a problem with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so like you're able to do that. Like you're able to have like a reasonable portion of something fun.
Yeah. So it seems like crazy, but it's like even if I'm not actually like weighing and measuring and tracking my food, I don't have a problem being like, oh, well, I had like steak and a potato and broccoli for dinner. Oh, okay, well, I can have like a little bit of ice cream, you know, because my dinner was kind of lower calorie. I can have some more fat and carbs. So I'll have like, you know, a serving or two of ice cream and I'm completely fine.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm starting to get there now. I'm starting to feel it. It feels good. and it feels different. Like, it's nuts having, like I said, I have a tub of ice cream that's lasted 2 weeks. That's insane to me.
But I will say though, it also helps when I'm just kind of like eating at maintenance. Like, it definitely would change if I was doing like a cut, it would definitely change. I'd have to be a lot more diligent because obviously your hunger gets raised, and it just becomes a lot more difficult to be mindful of what you're eating and kind of stay in control.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Sure. So what are you up to? What are you doing next? Powerlifting now? Done with bodybuilding?
I'm mixing the best of both worlds, honestly, because I fell back in love with bodybuilding again. And despite not wanting to maybe do the prep and step on stage again, I really enjoyed just like the maintenance of building the body again. It felt so damn good. But of course, strength is always my love. So I want to blend both. Like, I have powerlifting goals. Like, I want to get that 585 squat and eventually that 60-pound squat, ideally this year if I can. I want to push for that. And some of the goals are very blended. Like, one of my goals right now, because I haven't benched in a little while because I kind of took my shoulder. Shoulder feels great now, but I just haven't really missed the bench. Like, I don't miss it at all. So what I actually want to do is I did a lot of dumbbell pressing during prep, and I was like, kind of fun moving big dumbbells around. I was like, I actually want to take, for the first time ever in my life, take a serious amount of time to program dumbbell pressing and see
and like build it.
How strong I can get with that. I've never tried it. So like, and that's like literally a blend of both. That's strength, but it's definitely like a more bodybuilding associated movement. So like, I just want to do stuff like that. Like, and I enjoy hitting those hypertrophy days now with like rowing and building the back and the shoulders. But definitely an amp to like get back into deadlifting again and stuff like that. Nick Wright will be doing his first meet this fall. So
he's doing a meet?
Yeah.
Shit.
That, and like, it's honestly power building, man. Power building to the max, and then really try to dive out of my comfort zone with some new business endeavors outside of the fitness industry.
Yeah. Anything you can talk about, or just in the initial stages?
Not yet, but when I can talk about it, I might have to jump back on.
I was going to have to jump back on. Should we have to do one of these in person someday? That would be a lot better.
I'm definitely down to do it in person. That'd be sick.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm like an in-person podcast, man. Joe Rogan style.
I know. Seriously. Well, I'll either have to come up or you'll come down or something.
Hell yeah.
Cool, man. Well, shit. I will put the YouTube, Instagram, and everything in the show notes. Nick Wright, NWB.
Appreciate it, man.
Cool, man. Awesome.
All right, brother.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Absolute Strength Podcast. I know I had a ton of fun producing it for you. And before you go, if you could just drop me some feedback, I'd love it. I love reading your feedback. So you can go over to iTunes, leave a 5-star rating, write a little review, what you think of the podcast. I absolutely love it. I read every single one. But it's cool if you don't want to do that. I get it. No one wants to really go out of their way to do anything, let alone write a review. But I want to get your feedback. So drop me a line on Instagram at Hunt Fitness, or on Facebook, Kyle Hunt, or on Twitter, or send a pigeon or something. I don't know. I just want to hear your feedback. So if you want to give me some feedback, let me know what you think. Hit me up on Instagram at Hunt Fitness. And before you go, I have one last thing I want to say. I have a program I want you to check out. It's actually called the Absolute Strength Program, and the link is in the show notes. It's a program I designed to help increase my own squat, bench, and deadlift. And I got pretty strong off of it, and I think you're going to like it. It's a great book. Thousands of people have got amazing results from it. It's in the show notes. All right, guys. Until next time, until next episode, peace.